So in today's video, we're talking about the fears, the limitations, the triggers, the limiting beliefs that are coming up when we are trying to connect with our soul mission, with our purpose, with our divine destiny. So if you're a light worker or a starseed and you're on this path of ascension, of awakening, of connecting with your soul mission, and in the process of sharing your spark, your gifts, then uh, you cannot avoid the fact that the old fears, the old patterns, the old identity is coming up, is showing up. So this is one of the main reasons for many people that give up on their vision, because they don't know how to deal with these aspects of ourselves, the shadows, these lower vibration energies that we stored in our subtle bodies. So in today's video, we're gonna explore a little bit more what is actually happening and what are these fears, what are these limiting beliefs, and how to overcome them in order to stabilize more and more into our higher self identity, into our vision, into our divine destiny. So these fears doesn't mean they didn't exist there before, only that they were not triggered, they were not brought to the surface. It's only when we are connecting, aligning with our vision, with our calling, with our expansion, that these patterns are coming up to the surface. So it's an important process, and it's actually such a big opportunity for us to alchemize them, because if they're dormant, if they're in our unconsciousness, in our subconscious mind, right, they still are there, but they're sabotaging us without us knowing they're doing so. So it's an opportunity that they're coming up. That's the first thing. The second is to in order to be able to do this process, we don't want to go into the old healing paradigm, the old 3D paradigm, or even 4D, where we have a problem, we have a challenge, is something wrong with us, we need healing, we need to fix ourselves. That's the old paradigm. The new paradigm, which is beyond the matrix, into the heart space, into the fifth dimension. It's first of all aligning with our higher self and living from this space of unity, of heart, of connection with our higher potential, with our divinity. And when these triggers come up, to be in the space, first of all, of acceptance, then of love, in order to be able to alchemize them. Of course, there is a deeper process, how we actually go to the root of the problem, how to actually use this problem on this process on all levels of our being, mental, emotional, energetic, and physical. On all levels of our being, these patterns are stored, right? So we need to address, we need a process that actually goes through all these layers. And in the live method that we are learning, we're going through this process. So if you're interested to learn about this method, we highly encourage you to attend our workshop, the Catalyst. It's called Catalyst Integration, which deals exactly with this topic. But today we want to give you just a bigger perspective and to understand some principles that are important in this process. So first of all, it's an opportunity. Second of all, we can only do this process of alchemy from our higher self, and that needs constant awareness and connection with our higher self identity. And these patterns, so they are alchemical points. So we are on a certain timeline that is a path where we are living our lives. When this trigger happens, that's why we call it a catalyst. It's actually an alchemical point, and it's a moment when we can actually change our destiny. Because when we are unconscious, when we are living from the ego, from the lower self identity, the way we deal with these alchemical points when we have a inner reaction, these are the moments, this is when we know we have this, it's happening, these alchemical points, we have an inner reaction, an inner conflict. Usually, what we do if we are not present, we are not connecting with our higher self, we tend to react. We scream, we hit, we do the old patterns, the compensation mechanisms that we are used to. But in these moments, which happen many times every day, we have an opportunity to respond differently. We have an opportunity to make a conscious decision to use our free will to move on a different timeline. This is how our destinies are changed. This is how we choose actually our divine destiny and not our karmic patterns, which most of the time, for most of the people, live in this space unconsciously, actually making more and more karma, accumulating more and more patterns, making those patterns bigger and bigger, building more and more energy, giving them more and more food, right? So we want to use these moments, these intersection moments, these alchemical points to shift our destiny. So it's not a paradigm that we need to heal ourselves, like the old therapy, something wrong, I need to heal. No, the perspective is totally different. We want to use these moments to alchemize that energy, that old pattern, the lower vibration energy, and to alchemize it, to transform it into energy that serve our higher timeline. It's I'm not going to go into details how we do this now, but the most important thing, principle, is to use the two things, the two states of consciousness, the expanded one connected with our higher self, and the trigger, the emotion, the energy that got activated, and to hold the space. And in holding the space for this chemistry to happen, for this energy to get processed in our subtle bodies, it happens the alchemical process. Of course, it's a little bit more complicated than that. Not complicated, but there are subtleties to it, which we'll explore at the workshop. So if you're interested in this, how to actually make this process and actually heal at the root, how to change your limiting paradigms, transform the what we would call wounds and limiting beliefs, we highly invite you to join the workshop. We'll go in much more depth there. But I hope this video served you, gave you a little bit a different perspective how we deal with these things, not from the old paradigm, but from an empowered one,